Discover the Desert is brought to you by Standard Restaurant Supply. Thanks to our friends at Finley Hyundai for providing our wheels to get us out to discover the desert. Stay tuned until the end of the episode to see how you can win free Handel's homemade ice cream. Welcome back to Discover the Desert. I'm your host Alicia, and I'm here with Jeremy, Colin, and Kayam, and we're here to check out the Snow Canyon Overlook in the Red Mountain Wilderness. Let's go! The Red Mountain Wilderness is nearly 19,000 acres, and can you tell us a little bit about what the biological crust is?
Well, you do have networks of different microbes that essentially form this web up top that binds everything together. It could take many, many years to get that really nice developed crust, but only a second to give it a bad day, so we do want to protect it.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it looks like?
In some areas especially, you may see like areas the soil looks like super, super bumpy, kind of black, kind of dark. That would be a good description of what to look out for.
So the Red Mountain Wilderness is pretty rugged. The trail gets rocky, it gets sandy, and it's not always clear where you need to go. So you should probably check where you're going before you come out. Bring shoes with great traction and plenty of water.
If you're recreating here in the northwest region of the St. George Field Office area, you might come across this type of landscape where it's a huge open sagebrush steppe that's dominated by sagebrush plants. Now as the late fall goes on and the temperature starts to cool down, mule deer will migrate down from higher elevation areas to these lower elevation areas where they'll rely on sagebrush as their major source of food, and it can take up to 90% of their diets is just sagebrush. So it's really important that these landscapes are preserved, and some ways that you can help preserve them is to, if you're driving a vehicle or a UTV, just to stay on designated areas and designated roads so as not to damage any of the sagebrush plants, and also just to follow any local fire restrictions, because these landscapes can burn very quickly and can take decades to come back once they've been damaged. There's tons of life and tons of really important wildlife that rely specifically on the sagebrush plants to survive.
So this is a great place to bring your family, your date, your dog, or just bring yourself and enjoy the quiet. But there is a 1,000-foot drop right here, so watch your step. So Jeremy, we might see some flying creatures out here by the overlook. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is a really good birding paradise here for birders. You can see lots of different falcons out here, like the red-tailed hawk, but also which you're mentioning flying animals, you can also see bats here. Utah, we have 16 different species of bats, and this is a really good spot to see them at.
They sometimes live down in the lava tubes in Snow Canyon, is that right?
That is correct, yes. And you usually see bats in the morning or in the evening time when they fly out, when they look for insects.
Nice. So if you're looking for bats, start early or start late. We made it out here to one of the best views here in southern Utah on the northern end of Snow Canyon State Park. We learned a lot today about mule deer, bats, and biological crust, thanks to our friends at the BLM and the Mule Deer Foundation. And there's so much more to discover here, so let's get outside and discover the desert. Discover the Desert is brought to you by Standard Restaurant Supply. I like to end a good hike with Handel's homemade ice cream. Tell us in the comments where we should discover next for a chance to win free Handel's homemade ice cream. Thanks to our friends at Finley Hyundai for providing our wheels for our adventure today. A big thank you to Standard Restaurant Supply for sponsoring Discover the Desert. They're open to the public. Come shop where the chefs shop.